a wonderful, wonderful person. He never went to school. He never learned to read and to write. But I think he's the wisest man I ever met in my life. And I always called him my daddy. You know, people say, well, my father did this, my father did that. You know, biologically, you can be a father, but it takes somebody special to be a daddy. What I think. My mother was well educated. She had an 8th grade education. She could read and write. And she always made us promise her that we would finish high school, because to her that was the epitome of education. If you can finish high school, boy. But growing up, it was interesting. I could never say we were poor, because first time I asked my mother, why are we so poor? She gave me a lesson. We're not poor, we're just broke. We're not poor, we have no money, but we're not poor. Okay. Broke is temporary, she says. Poor is a state of mind. If you think you're poor, you'll be poor all your life. So it's what you think of and how you think of yourself that's really important. So we moved around all over the place, moved 21 times between when I was born and when I left home at 16. And we never lived in a house that had electricity. So there were always dumps that were falling down. But I always had big dreams. When we would go to bed at night, the bed that we slept on was the sage grass that we cut out in the field and we stuffed into a bag, and that was our mattress. And it'd stick your neck, but I would turn on a dream that it was a big fluffy pillow. And so I escaped reality that way. And when I was little, I used to have to plow in the field, and I could just barely reach the handles of the plow. And I remember I was plowing one day, and I stopped and I sat down, and my dad came along, and he saw me sitting out there, and instead of coming out there and yanking me up and kicking my butt, he said, "What's happening?" I said, "I'm not going to do this anymore." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm just tired of doing this. I'm too little." He sat down beside me. He said, "You smell that dirt?" Man, he said, "That's good, rich dirt. We're going to have a good crop here this year. See the worms? That means that it's good nutrition or nitrogen in the soil, you know. So it's going to be good." The first thing I know, I'm out there plowing. That's the first con job that was ever pulled on me. But I used to catch myself standing out in the field. Have you ever seen geese flying south? The V formation? Oh, yeah, they're Canadian geese. They're getting the hell out of here. It's too cold up here. I remember I used to stand out in the field, and I would sit there and I'd look at them going by and hear them quacking, and I wondered where they were going. I thought, God, I wish I were going with you. I wonder what it's like where you're going. I wonder what it's like where you came from. So the thing that's helped me survive childhood was my dreams. When I was 14, I wrote down all these things that I wanted to do in life. One, I was going to be a multimillionaire before I was 35. That was an old person, 35. Anybody here 35? It's amazing when you're 14 what the definition of old is, isn't it? But then I was going to have food. You can tell I took care of that one. A little too much. I was going to have my own clothing because I never had clothes that were mine. I wore clothes that someone else had thrown away. And I was going to have you participate in my dream too. Because one of the things was I was going to travel all over the world and meet wonderful people. And here I am. Meeting you and opening this launch of Canada is like the icing on the cake. Meeting wonderful people in a wonderful country. So, everything that I have done has been because I dreamed that I was going to do it. And it's happened. When I worked on the space shuttle program, I knew I was going to win that job because I dreamed it in my mind. I knew exactly what was going to happen. And I won that biz. And I made lots and lots and lots and lots of money. More money than I ever thought was in the world. And the other big dream that I had was that someday I would meet a wonderful woman to be my wife. And I did. Yeah, I better stop talking about that or I'll be crying. And you know, the other thing I dreamed just recently is I thought if I had some good friends that would go get Starbucks coffee for me, that would be wonderful. And you know what? This morning, somebody knocked on my door and they delivered Starbucks coffee to my room. It doesn't get any better than that, does it? Thank you, Tony Nexan. So, if you don't have a dream, you really are missing out. Because the beauty of life is the dreams are the fuel that drives you. You know, it's like getting in a car. If you have no gas in the car, you're not going very far. In life, if you don't have a dream, you're not going very far. If you were to ask Ming Lee about what happened to her, did she have a dream? Yes, she did. And look at her today. I was fortunate to sit beside her last night. I thought, hot damn. Woo. Of course, Wendy kept slapping me. What are you doing? What are you doing now? No, I'm teasing. But I'm really happy for you. I'm happy for all of you who have had dreams and worked to make sure that those dreams came true. And I'm going to let Wendy say something. And she's delighted that I'm finally going to shut up.
That's not true. I'm always happy for you to talk the whole time. That never bothers me. Well, I have a hard time standing up here and talking. Okay, you said stand over here. No, I want to talk more about what Randy was saying today. You all have to have dreams, big dreams, and the point was that Randy's dream was huge. He didn't know how he was going to get there, but it was so big, and he wanted it so much that's what drove him. If you don't have a dream that you want, and I don't care how big it is for you, but you know, if it's not something you really, really want, you probably aren't going to get there. So you have to really want whatever it is. And the key is you have to set goals, short-term, intermediate, long-term goals. You have to have a roadmap. And you know, this is January. This is the right time to reassess your goals and your dreams because we're at the beginning of a new year. Everybody makes New Year's resolutions, so now is the right time. And some of us have Chinese or Lunar New Year coming up in a couple weeks. Now is the right time to set your goals and reassess your dreams. Reflect on where you've been and where you want to go. Reassess, reevaluate, and then take action. That's what it's all about. You have to take action every single day. We as a company are doing that too. We set goals, and we just achieved one of our major goals. What was that? You all know that goal is to reach $1 billion in sales, and we did it. Well, we can't stop now, can we? We got to get to the $2 billion. So we have a new goal, and we're working really hard, and we have strategy sessions, and we're trying to redefine our processes and work hard to reach that next goal. Personally, Randy and I also had goals, and you heard us talk about them on the video. Our 2 goals in Starting Jeunesse was to help as many people around the world as we could. So that goal we don't have to redefine because it grows as we grow. And as we grow, we help more people around the world. And opening Canada is the start of growing a massive group in Canada. So, yes. With that, we need to understand that we are no longer going to be e-commerce. That's what this launch event is all about. There are laws in Canada that are a little different than Japan or the US or any other country. So we're going to have to make some adapting and some changing in order to be compliant. So over the next couple of weeks, you will see some adjusting going on. Including changing to the local currency. There's a lot of things that will happen. And there's the good and the bad. When we change to local currency, which apparently I think will go into effect on Monday, there's also the taxes that you have to pay. So you will be seeing the taxes and the GST and PST, depending on where you live. So there's a lot of things that will change along the way. But with that comes growth and good things. So I hope you'll all embrace the changes and just go with it, because it's what we need to do. So as we're growing as a company and setting goals, we also had the second goal. What was that? Jeunesse Kids. And as we grow, we are taking in more money and we're able to give more. And we hope that you, yes. Some of you were here last night and you heard that we've already given $1 million to Jeunesse Kids. That was a pretty lofty goal and we achieved that and we're going beyond. Of course, that wasn't the company just giving $1 million. It's all of you. A lot of you donated, and some of you donated huge amounts of money with a big heart to help children around the world. And we're going to continue that. We're going to continue having villages, and we were fortunate enough, and I'm sure you'll see some of this later, to go to Dalhousie in China and open a school. We have a lot more coming. We have Kenya, Ecuador, and who knows where else. So let's all work together. Change is inevitable. Work hard, set your new goals, and remember, it's not easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. So you got to work really, really hard, but when you do, the rewards are huge. So thank you very much.
I want to add one thing. For me, when we're talking about achieving a goal of $1 billion or $2 billion, it's not the money to me. I mean, it's about what we can do and how many people's lives we're touching around the world. That kind of money means that we have reached out and touched a lot of lives all over the world. And if you look today and you see where all these people live that are part of the Jeunesse family, you would be surprised. Countries all over the world and people are being affected by this opportunity. So you're part of a big family. Enjoy it and continue to work hard. Thank you very much.